I have my last stitch, gold stitch unworked. So now I'm going to go ahead and do, in that stitch I need 2 stitches. So the first stitch I'm going to do the gold. If I can get in there. There we go. And then I'm going to move the gold color up forward and change to the black yarn. And then I'm going to do in the same stitch, I'm going to finish with my last single crochet. Now you're going to need a yarn marker. So I'm just using one of my scraps of yarn and just placing it right where I left off. Now I'm going to continue with my black yarn, but I'm only going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch along the black colored yarn, and at the same time I'm carrying the gold yarn. So go ahead and do 1 single crochet into every stitch along the black colored portion until you get to the last stitch, and leave that last black stitch unworked, and then come back and I'll show you how to change colors. So here I'm at the last black stitch, so I'm going to go ahead and change colors to the gold. So I'm going to switch the black yarn forward and start working with the gold color and go into that last black stitch, pull up a loop. I have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. At the same time you can start turning your work inside out because this is the right side of your work. The yarn from the center of your magic circle, that loose yarn end, is on the wrong side of the work. And now you can do 1 single crochet into every stitch back to the yarn marker with your gold color, and you can see how you have half the ear is black and then half the ear is gold. So go ahead and do 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way back to the yarn marker, but leave that last gold stitch unworked, and I'll show you how to change colors. So now you're back and you have that last gold stitch unworked. You're going to move your gold yarn forward and start working with the black yarn, and you're going to do a single crochet into that stitch, and now you're just going to start working with the black yarn, doing 1 single crochet into every stitch with that same color of the yarn. And you're going to do that for 4 more rows, and you're going to change color. That last stitch you're going to leave unworked and change the color, and then start working with that color around. And do that for 4 more rows, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. After you finished your 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to go ahead and tie the knot in the back. So we're going to go ahead and switch the gold color forward and start working with the black color. Go into the next stitch, do a single crochet, and just do a single crochet towards the back. And then once you're in the back, you can go ahead and do a slip stitch into the next stitch. So you're going to go into the next stitch, and you're going to grab both yarn colors. So go ahead and yarn over and pull both yarn colors through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. Then yarn over and pull both yarn colors through the loop on your hook to finish off. And pull enough yarn to bury into your work. And usually what I do also, well, that's a good knot, but if you want extra secure knots, you could tie another one, but that pretty much tied it off well. And just tuck those into the ear. And you're going to need 2 of these. So go ahead and do 1 more ear, and then come back, and then we'll sew them onto the tiger. I still have tiger on my mind. Actually, your cheetah. Once your ears are done, you're going to take and place the ears onto the head so you can sew them on. And I use the center of the magic circle at the top of the head as a guide, and I'm counting down 1, 2, 3, and that's about where I want to place the top part of the ear. And then also you look at how far the ear is away from the eye, and mine is about 3 stitches away, and it's lined up with the bottom of the eye. And then once you have your placement of the ear where you like it, you're going to take your tapestry needle with the same colored yarn, and then you're going to come up from the inside with your tapestry needle. And then you're going to take your ear and you're going to hook it. And then bring the yarn through and leave enough on the inside of your work to tie a knot. And then once you have that part sewn, then you're going to go back in about a stitch over, back to the inside to tie your knot on the inside. Once you've tied your knot and secured the top portion of the ear, you're going to take your tapestry needle and come out for the bottom portion of the ear. That way you stabilize the top and the bottom. Makes it easier to sew your ear on. And then once you have the bottom portion, then you can go about a stitch over and then go back into the body. And then it just makes it easier to sew your ear on. So now you just go in and out with your tapestry needle. Even on the black color, it would be okay with the gold colored yarn. And then sew the ear in place. Actually sew both ears in place and then come back and we'll finish stuffing the head and closing it. Okay, so both of your ears should be sewed on. And now we're going to go ahead and close the head. So go ahead and get your yarn marker and just put it right where you left off. And now we're going to start doing decrease rounds. And how we're going to do that is in the next 6 stitches, you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then the next stitch is going to be a decrease stitch. So you're going to go into the next stitch, you're going to pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through all 3 for a decrease. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. So now just move your yarn marker up and we're going to do another decrease round. But this time you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you're going to do your decrease stitch. You're going to go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a decrease. Go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up to the next round, and we're going to do another decrease round. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to do a decrease. Move my yarn marker back. Go ahead and go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 for a decrease. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up and we're going to do another decrease round. And this time we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then do your decrease stitch. And then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. You should be back to the yarn marker, and now you can go ahead and stuff your head with any cheap pillow stuffing is what I use from Walmart, and stuff it to where you like the way the shape is. And we're going to do 1 more decrease round. We're going to leave a little bit of a hole for sewing onto the body. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and now you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and then do a decrease. You're going to do that all the way around back to the yarn marker. This is how your work should be looking. Go ahead and take your yarn marker out now because we're done. So we're going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch. Just yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And then we're going to finish off. So you just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through that we're going to bury into our work. And you're done with the head. Now we're going to start on the body. To make the body, we're going to do a magic circle. So you're going to take your same colored yarn as you used for the head, and you're going to do a magic circle. So we're going to drape the yarn across the 4 fingers and stabilize it with the thumb, and then wrap it around the 2 middle fingers twice, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. And I'm still using my J hook or 6mm crochet hook. Just go under those 2 loops, bring up a loop, and then yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for your slip knot. And then you're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then take your forefinger and thumb and go to the base of the 6 single crochet, and then you have the 2 loops on the opposite side. You're going to pull on one. If it doesn't pull, you let go and pull on the other one, but this one is pulling the circle closed. Just loosely close it as much as you can, then take that loose yarn in and pull on that. Now you're going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch around. So go into that first stitch under both loops. Sometimes the first one's the most difficult to get in. Go ahead and bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for 1 single crochet, go into the same stitch, do another single crochet, and then you're going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch around. And then you're going to need a yarn marker. I just use a little excess yarn that I have and just put it right where you left off. And now we're going to do our increase rounds. So you go into the next stitch and do 1 single crochet. And then in the second stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. This is how your work should look. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up where you left off. And now we're going to do another increase round. You're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch. And then 1 single crochet into the second stitch. And then you're going to do 2 single crochet into the same stitch for the third stitch. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker and then come back. We're going to do another increase round. Go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up. And then you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. and then 2 single crochet in the 4th stitch. And repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and we're going to do another increase round. We're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. And then do 2 single crochet in the 5th stitch. And then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Your work should be looking like this. Go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up. We're going to do another increase round. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 single crochet in the 6th stitch, and repeat the pattern all the way around to the yarn marker. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and we're going to do another increase round. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then in the 7th stitch, you do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now we're going to go ahead and join your lighter color. So you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to go into the next stitch over and bring up a loop. So you have 2 loops on the hook. Then you're going to take your lighter color, same color that you used for your snout, and then you're just going to hook the lighter color and bring it through both loops and do a chain 1. And you're going to keep both colors, so you're just going to take and tie a knot. And now you're going to carry the gold color yarn with you and work with the lighter colored yarn. And in the next stitch, you're going to do a single crochet. And you're going to do a single crochet all the way to the other side, halfway, and then come back, and I'll show you how to change colors back to the gold color. I just wanted to show you that as I'm working, I'm carrying the gold colored yarn with me for when I change colors. So I'm going into each stitch and bringing up a loop with the lighter color, but at the same time I'm burying the gold color, and I'm just doing 1 single crochet into every stitch as I carry the gold color with me until I get to the halfway mark down here, and then I'll show you how to change to the gold color. Okay, so I've reached about halfway, and this is going to be the lighter color for the belly of the body. When I'm changing colors, I'm just going to move the lighter color forward and then start working with the darker gold color. So I'm going to go into the next stitch, bring up a loop with my new color. Then I have 1 color is the gold and 1 color is the lighter color. Yarn over and go through both loops for a single crochet. And at the same time, I'm going to bury the lighter color now. And I'm going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch back to the yarn marker. And when you've done that, come back and I'll show you what to do next. So I'm back towards the yarn marker, and I have 1 gold stitch that's left unworked because I'm going to change colors into that stitch. So I'm going to take the gold or darker yarn color and move it forward and start working with the lighter color. And in that last gold stitch, I'm going to do the lighter color stitch, a single crochet. And then I'm going to start working single crochet with the new lighter color into every stitch. And you can see how I've changed colors, and it lines up when you do that. So you're going to work 1 single crochet with the lighter color all the way, and you're going to leave that last lighter color stitch unworked, and we're going to change colors there. So go ahead and do one single crochet into every stitch with the lighter color, but leave the last stitch unworked. Okay, so you should have one stitch left unworked. Now go ahead and move the lighter color forward and start working with your darker color or the gold color. Go into that next stitch, bring up a loop, do your single crochet, and then start working with the darker or gold color for the rest of the way back to the lighter color. So you're going to work one single crochet into every stitch and leave that last stitch unworked, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. So you should be at your last gold stitch that's unworked. So you're going to move the darker or gold stitch yarn forward and work a single crochet into that stitch with the new color for the color change. And then you're going to start working with your color change, one single crochet into every stitch around. And you can see how you have a nice line forming when you do that for the belly lighter color. And that's how you're going to work for the next. You want a total of 15 rows. We've already done 3. So just go ahead and do 12 more rows, changing colors like I showed you, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. You should have finished a total of 15 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now we're going to go ahead and tie off the darker color or the gold color that you're using for your cheetah. You can go ahead and cut it, but leave enough for tying a knot. And then you're going to take and just tie a knot to the lighter color that you had. And then you can move your yarn marker up if you like, just to help keep track. And now we're going to start doing the decrease rounds. So you're going to do a single crochet into the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you're going to do your decrease stitch. Go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch and bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a decrease. And then go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up for your next decrease round. And now you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to do your decrease stitch. And then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now we're going to do another decrease round. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and now you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. And then you're going to do your decrease stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way back to the yarn marker. I think you can see the pattern now. We're going to take the yarn marker and move it up. And now we're going to do another decrease round, but we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. And then do your decrease. You're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Move your yarn marker up, and now we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. and then we're going to do our decrease stitch. You're going to repeat the pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now you can go ahead and stuff the body with some pillow stuffing, or whatever filling that you're going to use for your animal. And now you're going to go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and you're going to do one single crochet into the next stitch, and then a decrease stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. I have one stitch left before I get back to my yarn marker. So now you're just going to go ahead and just do decrease stitches all the way around until you are almost closed. And then come back, and then I'll show you how to do slip stitches to close the body. You can see that I'm almost closed. So now what I'm going to do is slip stitch it closed. And how you're going to do that is you're going to skip the next stitch, go into the next stitch, bring up, actually you're going to yarn over, and then just bring the yarn through both loops for slip stitch. And you're just going to do that until the body is closed. Once you're finished closing the body, then you're going to yarn over and pull the yarn through the loop to finish off. And then just bring enough yarn through to cut and bury into your work. Go ahead and take your tapestry needle and place the loose yarn end onto the tapestry needle, and then just go right down the center. Come out anywhere on the body. Just going to bury that loose yarn end. Just pull it snugly, and then just cut it. Now we're going to sew the head onto the body. So you're going to need your tapestry needle, and you're going to need the same color yarn as the head and the body. You're going to want the lighter color to be in the front, and then make sure that you have the lighter color for the belly on the bottom. And then just take your head and place it onto the body, and you want the head as close to the front as possible as you're sewing. Once you have the head lined up on the body where you want it, then you're going to go into the body and then up through the head. Make sure you leave enough yarn to bury into the work. And then once you're in the head, you want to go across in the head and then come back down into the body. And the whole time that you're sewing the head on, you want to make sure that you keep the body and the head lined up. But that's how I alternate, is I go, if I went into the body, then I'm going to go into the body and then back up into the head. And then just keep sewing the head onto the body that way. So you're going to sew that way all the way around, back to where you started, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Don't worry if you have wide stitches, because you can always make a couple times around as you're sewing to make sure that you have the head secure. The most important thing is making sure that your head is lined up with the body and not turned in either direction. Now we're going to make the feet, and we're going to start with the lighter color, and we're going to make a magic circle. Just going to drape it across your 4 fingers and use your thumb to stabilize, and then wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers and hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. And I'm still using my J crochet hook or 6mm crochet hook. Just go under those 2 loops, yarn over and bring up a loop, then yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for your slip knot. And then you're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So you're going to bring up a loop, you have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. I'm going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then take your forefinger and thumb and just hold at the base of the 6 single crochet, and then you have the 2 loops on the other side. Just take one of them and pull on it to close the magic circle loosely, and then take the loose yarn end and pull on that. And now you're going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch around. So in that first stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochet, 1, 2, and then go ahead and finish doing 2 single crochet into every stitch all the way around for a total of 12, and then come back. If you still have a little bit of an opening in the center of your magic circle, you can turn your work over and just pull on that loose yarn end to completely close it. And then you're going to need a yarn marker to help you keep track of where you left off. I'm just going to use one of my scraps of yarn and just place it right where you left off. And now we're going to start an increase round. So you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then in the second stitch you're going to do 2 single crochet into the same stitch, and then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Move your yarn marker up to where you left off. We're going to do another increase round. So you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then 2 single crochet in the third stitch, and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now for our last increase round, go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then you're going to do 2 single crochet into the 4th stitch, and then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. This is how your work should be looking. Go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way around, and you're going to do that for 3 rows. So go ahead and do that 1 single crochet into every stitch for 3 rows, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. You should have finished 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up. Now we're going to do 8 decrease stitches. So you're going to go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, then go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a decrease. So that's 1 decrease, 2 decrease, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch back to the yarn marker, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Now take the yarn marker and move it up to where you left off, and we're going to do 4 decreases and then 1 single crochet into every stitch around. So you're going to do 4 decreases, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now do 1 single crochet into every stitch back to the yarn marker, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. At this point, you can add your second color if you like, and you can make your work look like this, where the color change happens right at this point, or you can do a little bit more work and add the color at another point, and you can make several of your legs a little bit different just to add a little bit of variety, or you can make them all the same, whatever you want to do, but you have to make 4 feet the same way. I'm going to go ahead and add the color at this point. So I'm just going to go into the next stitch and bring up a loop. Then I'm going to get my second color. I'm going to hook the second color and then just bring it through both loops. Then I'm going to do a chain 1. Then take and tie a knot. I'm going to go ahead and just move my yarn marker up just to help me, even though I'm doing the color change, I'm still going to help keep track of where I am. And make sure that you're still carrying your second color also as you work. So now I'm going to carry the lighter color and start working with the gold color, and I'm going to do a single crochet into the next stitch, and I'm going to do a single crochet into every stitch around, and I'm going to do that for 5 rows. So go ahead and carry the lighter color and work with your separate color, or you can alternate and work more of the lighter color and then change colors, whichever you prefer. And then come back after you've completed 1 single crochet into every stitch for 5 rows, and then I'll show you what to do next. So you should have finished 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to start doing the decreases, and you can go ahead and stuff the foot with some stuffing, and then move your yarn marker up where you left off. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to do your decrease stitch. So you're going to go into your next stitch, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a decrease, and then repeat that pattern all the way around back to your yarn marker. You should have your yarn marker up to where you left off, and we're going to do another decrease round. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, and we're going to do the same amount of decreases. So 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then you're going to do your decrease stitch, and then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now just move your yarn marker up to where you left off, and we're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch for the next 4 rows. So for the next 4 rows, just 1 single crochet into every stitch, and then come back. After you've finished 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go ahead and cut the lighter colored yarn and leave enough for burying into your work. Go ahead and tie a knot to make sure that it's secure. Don't pull it too tight. As you pull out your gold loop, you can put your crochet hook back in, and then just then you can pull it tight. Now we're going to go ahead and close the top of the foot. So finish stuffing the amount of stuffing that you want in your foot, and then I'll show you how to close. After you put the amount of stuffing that you want in your foot, We're going to go ahead and do slip stitches until we're closed. So you're just going to skip a stitch, go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch, and you're just going to keep skipping stitches and then doing slip stitches all around until the foot's closed. And then you can just kind of go on top, then go across and pull the yarn through. Until it's completely closed. I'm going to do one more. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish off. Yarn over and just pull through enough yarn to bury into your work. Now you're just going to get your tapestry needle. Just put it on that loose yarn end. And then take the tapestry needle and go through your work and come out anywhere. Pull it snug. And you have one of your feet done. So go ahead and finish making 4 of these, and then I'll show you how to sew them on and then do the paws. So now you should have all of your feet done, and you just have to decide which feet you want in the front and then which ones in the back. I'm going to put these 2 in the front for mine, and you're just going to need your gold colored yarn or the same colored yarn as the top of the feet and your tapestry needle. Now you're going to want to take the front of the bear, or cougar I mean, and make sure that your front paws face forward, and you're going to line it up onto the body how you like it. So this is how I have mine lined up, and on this side you can see where I lined up both of the forepaws, and you're just going to pinch it together, and you're going to go through with your tapestry needle to the other side, and then just leave enough yarn on the other side in order to tie your knot and bury your work. And I leave it pretty long too. And then you're going to take and go back about a stitch over from where you came out. You're going to go stitch over and then come back through. Just make sure you move your thumb out of the way or your fingers, and then just come back through with your tapestry needle. And then once you do that, you can let go and let it puff out to where you like it. Make sure that your feet are facing the way they should, and then you just take and tie a knot. And then I always go twice just to make sure it's nice and secure. So you're going to go back through and do the same thing one more time. Once you're happy with how your front paws work, then you're just going to take and bury your loose yarn ends. Just go back in where you tied your knot with your tapestry needle and come out anywhere on the foot. And then just cut your loose yarn ends. Now go ahead and just bury all of your loose yarn ends, and then you're going to do the same thing with the back. Just line them up with the front where you want the back legs to be, and then do the same thing that you did with the front legs. Okay, so now all of your paws and legs should be sewn on. Now we're just going to do the claws that go on the paws. So you're going to need your tapestry needle and your black yarn. Okay, so now you want to have the big bulky part of the paw up front, and then take your tapestry needle and your black yarn, and you're going to do the first one on the edge So you're going to go in through here. You have the bottom ledge and then the second ledge. The top of that second ledge, you're going to go in and then 3 stitches up, straight up. You're going to come out with your tapestry needle and just leave enough yarn to tie a knot. Then you're going to go back in to where you started at an angle. So you're going to go over to the center, which is about 1, 2, 3 stitches over. And then you're going to go down 3 rows. And then you're going to go over 3 stitches. And then you're going to go down, straight down 3 rows. And then you're going to go across to where you started. And then you have your claws. So you go ahead and just tie your knot. And you're going to do this with each of your feet. And then when you come back, I'll show you how to do the tail. First, I'm just going to show you to bury your loose yarn ends. You just go straight through the area that you made the knot to the back. Come out the back of the paw. And then you just cut your loose yarn end. And then do that with all your loose yarn ends and make the claws on each of your paws. Then come back and we'll do the tail. For the cheetah tail, you're going to use the same gold or darker color that you used for the body. And we're going to also use the J hook or 6mm crochet hook. And we're going to start with the magic circle. Just take the yarn and drape it across your 4 middle fingers. Use your thumb to stabilize. And then just wrap it around your 2 middle fingers twice and hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Take your J hook, go under the 2 loops around the middle fingers, bring up a loop, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for your slip knot. And now we're going to do 6 single chains into the magic circle. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then take your forefinger and your thumb, just hold it at the base of the 6 single crochet, and you'll see the 2 loops on the opposite side of the magic circle. Just pull on one. If it doesn't pull closed, then you let go and pull on the other one, but this one's closing. So close it loosely, then take that loose yarn in and pull on that. Now you're going to do 2 single crochets into every stitch around for a total of 12. So you go into that first stitch, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet, go in the same stitch and do another single crochet. So go ahead and do 2 single crochet into every stitch around for a total of 12 and then come back. Now just get a yarn marker and then place it right where you left off, and we're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch for a total of 25 rows. And you can also, if you have a little opening in the center of your magic circle, you can turn your work over and just pull on that loose yarn end, and that'll close up your magic circle. So go ahead and do 1 single crochet into every stitch for a total of 25 rows, and then come back. Alright, so after you've finished your 25 rows for the tail, you're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch into the next stitch. Just yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch, and then you're going to finish off. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull enough yarn through to sew the tail onto your cheetah. Go ahead and stuff your tail, and then get your tapestry needle, and then you're just going to take your cheetah and sew the tail onto the back of the cheetah. So now I'm going to show you how to make the heart that goes on the bottom of the paw. And I'm going to show you, if you're making this type of paw, you would use the black yarn for your heart. But I'm going to use, for the female cheetah, I'm going to use the pink yarn and show you how to make a heart. I'm using my J crochet hook, or 6mm crochet hook, and I'm just going to take the yarn and drape it across my 4 fingers and use my thumb to stabilize, and then just wrap it around your 2 middle fingers twice and hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then take your crochet hook and just go under those 2 loops, and then you're going to bring up a loop, then yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for your slip knot. And now you're going to go under the magic circle. You're going to bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over and go through both for your first single crochet. And now you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And this is going to count as your first double crochet. Then you're going to yarn over. You're going to go back into the magic circle. You're going to bring up a loop. 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and go through 2. And then yarn over and go through 2 for your second double crochet. Now you're going to do 2 more double crochet into the magic circle. Now we've completed 4 double crochet into the magic circle. Now we're going to do 3 half double crochet. Yarn over, go into the magic circle, yarn over, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3. Then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Then you're going to do 3 more half double crochet. And then you're going to do 4 half double crochet. 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you take your forefinger and thumb and then just hold it at the base, just like this. And then you're going to take one of the 2 loops of yarn on the opposite side of the magic circle and pull on it. If it doesn't pull closed, then you let go and pull on the other one until it closes as much as you can. And then take that loose yarn in and pull on that. And then you have a nice heart. Then you're going to take and go into the base of that first stitch that you made. You're going to yarn over and then bring the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to yarn over to finish off. Pull enough yarn to sew your heart onto your work. And then you're going to take your tapestry needle and put it onto that long yarn end that you left for sewing. And then you're going to take and go through the center of the heart just to kind of pull into a heart shape. And then on the back, you're just going to pull on that loose yarn end to close the magic circle, and then just tie a knot on the back. And then you have a pretty heart all done. So you're going to need 4 of these, and then you're also going to need to make the black version with the black yarn, black hearts for the cheetah spots that we're going to sew onto your cheetah. And you can alternate between the J crochet hook and your G crochet hook to make different sizes. But for the bottom of the paw, you're going to need 4 big hearts that you used with the J crochet hook. Okay, so now you're going to take your J hook or 6mm crochet hook as well as your G or 4mm crochet hook, and you're going to make different sized spots for your cheetah. So I've already made some extra, got some orange yarn in there, extra hearts that I'll make with my J crochet hook as well as my G hook, and also some spots. And I want to show you how to make these with the pink yarn because it's hard to see how to show you with the black yarn. But you can see I'm making the different spots. And here you can see how I've sewn some on already. So I did a big heart, sewed on a heart as well as one of the spots already. And also I sewed a heart right on the chest as one of the spots. So I'm going to show you with the pink yarn, and I'm going to show you with this size hook, but you do the same thing with the G hook to get the smaller size. So you already know how to make the hearts. You know how to make the hearts, so I'm going to go ahead and just show you how to make the spots. So the smaller spot, you're just going to do a magic circle, and you're just going to drape the yarn across your 4 fingers and stabilize with your thumb and wrap it around your middle fingers twice, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. And then just take your crochet hook, go under the 2 loops, draw up a loop, then yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for your slip knot, and then you're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you just take your forefinger and thumb, go to the base of the 6 single crochet, and then you have the 2 yarn strands on the opposite side of the magic circle. You're going to pull on one of them. If it doesn't close, then you let go and pull on the other, but this one's closing, so just pull on that loosely. Then take the loose yarn end and pull on that. And then you're going to do a slip stitch in the first stitch. And then you're going to yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to finish off, just yarn over and pull the yarn through, and enough yarn to sew onto your work. And you just take and cut it. I'm not going to cut this because I'm going to use this pink yarn again to show you how to do the next one. And then you're going to take, and on the back you can just pull on that loose yarn end to close the magic circle, and then you have your spot. So you want to make these with the black yarn to cover your cheetah. So this is with your J crochet hook. Okay, so for this size spot, you would use your J crochet hook, but you can do the same thing to make some smaller ones. Just do the same thing with the G size crochet hook, and just combine making different spots like this. Okay, so now for the other type of spot you're going to make, you're just going to do a magic circle again and stabilize with your thumb and just wrap the yarn across your 2 middle fingers and hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. And then take your J hook and go under those 2 loops, and then draw up a loop, Then yarn over and go through that loop for your slip knot. And then you're going to go under the 2 loops. You're going to bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, going to yarn over and go through both for a single crochet, and then you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And that'll be your first double crochet. And you're going to do 3 more double crochet into the magic circle. So you yarn over, go into the magic circle, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So I have 2 double crochet. I'm going to do 2 more. And now I'm going to do 3 half double crochet. So yarn over, go into the magic circle, you bring up a loop, yarn over and go through all 3 for half double crochet. I'm going to do 2 more. And then I'm going to do 3 single crochet into the magic circle. That's 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm just going to take my forefinger and my thumb and hold it at the base and pull on one of the yarn strands to close it. If it doesn't pull, then of course you pull on the other one, just like you did before. And then you're going to do a slip stitch into that first stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull through both loops for a slip stitch. And then you're going to yarn over and pull enough yarn to bury into your work, and then you're going to cut it. But I'm not going to cut this one because I'm going to save my yarn. But then just take the back and just pull on that to close it, and you can see how you have a different shaped spot. So you're going to be doing that with your black yarn, and then for the smaller size you do the same thing but with your G crochet hook. So you're going to make a bunch of heart shaped ones, and then a bunch of them shaped like this, and then you're also going to make the smaller circle ones and just make a bunch of them. Okay, so you can see with my boy cheetah how I have all these different size spots on him, and I'm going to put some more on him as well. And I put some on his paws, and for him he has the black heart for the bottom of his feet. So I'm just going to cover him some more with some more spots, probably some more on the back of his head as well. And you can even cover the belly too. I may put some on the belly. And then here is the girl cheetah. You can see how I put one of the black hearts up here for her spot, as well as one of the smaller spots there, and then the black one there. And then I still need to cover her with some more of the black yarn spots. So go ahead and make all your spots and then cover your cheetah, and then we'll come back and see the finished product. Here is a close-up of the cheetahs, and here you can see the female cheetah has the beautiful blue eyes, and her nose is pink, and you can see her paw. She has a cute little heart for her paw, and you can see her belly. She has a heart spot on her belly too, and then her tail. And then here is the boy cheetah. You can see his face, and he also has a heart spot right here. And then also he has the black colored hearts on his paws, and you can see him from behind and his tail and the spots that he has on his head. And those are the cheetahs.